Welcome to the Picks from the Yard podcast. I'm your host, Wayne Salvatore. Just a humble caddy trying to scratch out winners every week for you guys, along with my friends, family, even acquaintances are welcome as long as they provide winners. Now that they've gone and legalized gambling here in Jersey, we're going to provide you with the hot selections every week.
Fluoride, freckle face, 9 of 10 times out of place. And I thank God I'm not like you. Subway station.
Picks from the Yard, week 9, hump week. Half the season behind us, half in front of us. Let's go out with a bang here. We also have the NBA underway, and Will Clegg's corner is on fire as Will went 0-3 on his NFL picks. We're throwing him back into his soccer corner there because he is en fuego. I'd like to introduce my guests this week, my brother, co-host, Richard the Math Whisperer Salvatore.
It's good to be back. We've been struggling. What can you say? At some point, there's nothing left to say. I felt better about last week. You had a winning week. I feel like I could have had a winning week. I felt better about last week. So we move on. We turn the page on. Second half of the season is usually our bread and butter. So here we go.
Let's. We've dug ourselves quite a hole, and we're bringing back Jon Cokines, our NBA guru, fellow looper from Bayonne Country Club. Fellow Jets, Knicks. I hope you root for the Yankees. Please tell me at least.
No, Mets.
Boy, yes,
no,
yes. Misery loves company.
Can't even get a manager to come to.
Brutal. Yeah, we'll touch on the Mets botching that up maybe later on in the show. Welcome back, John. I want to hear what you have to say about the NBA.
Will do.
And Jim Dodge returns. Number one Eagles fan.
Let me tell you something. I thought I'd come into some champagne waiting for me, whatever's in the budget, maybe some Reuniti with my baseball pick, the Astros.
Oh boy!
And then I don't know what's going on, but now they could blow the whole thing.
By the time this airs, the World Series will be over. We are recording the day of Game 7 tonight. I don't know. He's Dodge is in a showdown with his arch nemesis Rick Collins. Before the season began, Dodge took the Astros and Rick took the Nationals.
How he took the National, I can't even talk about it. It's just if they don't pull it out tonight, I will never hear the end of it.
You can't put a price. No amount of money. You can't put a price on bragging rights. In this arguing's been going on since when did you meet Rick Collins in college?
Oh yeah, in college, annoying all the way through college to yesterday. Sending every meme. He's too old to be sending memes, but that's what he's doing, torturing me. So we'll see what happens tonight, or like you said, by the time this airs.
Yeah, it's going to be a great finish. The baseball has been great. Last week, we have a time-honored tradition here of losing every week, so I hope you guys have been fading us. If you'd be killing it right now if you just going against what we're putting out there. We went 3-9. We have a sweet 36-60 overall record. I have no explanation. I've had it. I'm entering a anger phase here.
We were counting on the guests each week to kind of at least keep us near 500, but the guests, well, whatever. Willie's
brought
a regular,
them down to our
and
level.
We brought Will in thinking that we would change things up. He still had a great soccer week.
Well, let me break it down here, Richard. We'll start with the good news. I managed to go 2-1. I believe it was my first winning week. I'm 8-16 on the season. Terrible. My one of my wins, the Patriots. That's my new go-to. Just ride them every week. And what I've been thinking.
They don't lose.
And I won on the Chargers, and Notre Dame decided to not show up. I'm not sure what happened there. They got
Harbaugh kept his foot on the gas. He's passing up 2 touchdowns, and the first half was soaking wet in the stadium.
They don't. Apparently, Notre Dame doesn't know how to play in the rain. They're not prepared to play in the rain. Apparently,
that was embarrassing.
I was surprised. But it made me think. A year or two ago, you used to say Kelly doesn't know how to coach in a big game, but I think it was overshadowed by the fact that Harbaugh is terrible, even worse in a big game. And I think we all were looking at it from that angle. But I was surprised. Notre Dame just looked lost and overmatched.
Think he's trying to coach his way back to the NFL at the end of the season here?
Maybe.
Harbaugh.
Could be, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Terrible game for Notre Dame. Richard went 1-2. He's 9-15 overall. He won on his college game. Florida State, the one pretty handily. They were laying, I think, 9. They kind of rolled. That was a laugher. He lost on Cincinnati, but he should have covered.
It was unbelievable.
The end of that game. Go back. We can't even explain it in a timely fashion.
Between that one and the Seattle game, it's just nowhere to talk about.
I just want to say real quick. I tutor on Sunday. I was in between students when I'm checking on my phone. And Cincinnati had the ball late in the game, and it showed up on my phone. They scored a touchdown, and I'm going nuts in the car. And then they took it off, and I'm like, what the hell happened? I'm like, is something wrong with my app? I swear I saw 6 more points go up, and then they took it off.
CBS Sports killed me on one of those years ago.
But it turned out, I think they scored a touchdown, but then they reviewed it and took it off the board. So they could have covered that game, and that was a pick. I think, highly derided for that pick, and I stand by that pick.
It was
they were
still
in
a
that
loser.
game.
Let's move on.
Well, anyway, all right, we'll move on.
Jets, yet another loss. I'm not speaking about the Jets at the moment. I'm
terrible.
I'm appalled.
They were terrible.
Embarrassing. Bill Lesko, 0-3. He's 3-6 overall. Loser Houston, loser Indy, loser Buffalo. We'll just move on from there. And Will Clegg, his Panthers decided not to show up. It was
absolutely smoked.
Supposed to be sort of a showdown game, and the Niners showed him what's what. Tampa Bay, loser, and Minnesota they should have covered 22 different ways. Loser. Parlay, loser, 0-8. The Chargers came in. Carolina and Tampa both lost. So we have a lot of work to do. I feel like every week we're building ourselves a bigger mountain to climb. But we're at the midway point. So this is it. I mean, there's definitely the chance to come back is here. So let's, guys. I want winners this week. I'm getting tired. I can't take this. Public humiliation, people taunting me. It's brutal.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get some W's.
Not to mention my account on DraftKings. I'm one of their favorite clients at the moment. I believe.
PayPal, deposit.
I don't fear anything, anyone, anymore. I'm a freak. Don't dress like you, act like
I guess the big story this week is the World Series. I think the number might be off slightly. I saw the stat last night that there's been 1,427 game series in the history of organized sports, and not once has every road team won, and that is currently the situation, which is it's been crazy. I mean, it's great, it's exciting, but it's just so strange that the road team wins. So we're gonna see what happens tonight. Like when this airs, it'll be over. But it's a wild.
I feel like out of all the sports, baseball definitely lends itself to that happening. You're just really about the pitcher on the mound more than the home crowd.
But undefeated. So what I might do, I might just bet 200 on the Nationals. Just if I have to listen to nonsense from our other prognosticator,
Here we
I might
go.
as well put some money in my pocket.
Never-ending Rick Collins.
Might as well make some money.
As someone who backed I backed the Astros after game 1, and then after game 2, I got them plus 200. So as an Astros supporter, please do that.
I might do
Please.
that.
A lot of Astros people. I'm on the Nationals myself, so we're gonna see what happens.
Clutch Verlander, so clutch.
I would love to enjoy a Game 7 of World Series. It's one of the greatest things in sports. But I'll be at the Bob Seger show, so I'll be checking my phone and
That's even greater.
hope to catch the last couple innings once he wraps up old time rock and roll.
But it is crazy how every game. But you've seen a trend in football this year where the road teams have won more games than the home teams, and if you're betting them against the spread, you're at least 20 units up. And it's and people are starting to say it's a road. You used to say home field advantage. They say now there's a road field advantage. I don't know if it's just a statistical anomaly and it's going to come back, or if there's something that has changed about how road teams prepare.
I think it's
people
also
are-
the crowds.
People are drinking less. I feel like it may be back in the day.
Yeah.
I know the Jets games are a little mellower than they used
It's
to be.
different too. When you go to a Jets-Dallas game, it's like half, 3/4 Dallas fans. But
StubHub, people dumping tickets, a lot
I feel
easier
like a lot
now.
of places that are that way. Everyone wants to travel and see their own team. Less of a home field advantage.
And the Chargers, that's whoever's playing the Chargers has a home field advantage. They're not going to adopt
terrible.
that
They have
team.
the worst fans, and the Rams
And
too.
the Rams too. And these really terrible teams this year are all better on the road against the spread. Because who wants to go see the Bengals if you live in Cincinnati, or you want to go see Atlanta play? They're terrible. And I think too, the new stadiums are so big, they're clubs. It's like sometimes you look around and there a lot of people are not in their seats people are gambling too, and they have fantasy going. So there's less of that intensity, I think, for the home team, and I think that's part of what's showing up in the NFL.
Great value on these road teams this year. Also, the trade deadline came and went, and nothing really happened. It's funny. ESPN had a live show with all these rumors and whisperings, and they're just sitting around and they're like, "Oh, wait, 10 minutes ago."
Killing their own rumors. Like
Yeah.
Schefter's like, "Oh, the Jets might trade Adams," and then 20 minutes, the Jets aren't trading Adams.
Apparently, yeah, the Jets were rumored to have everybody on the trade block, I think, and literally nothing happened. It was the most
Of course,
anticlimactic.
the only one that handled himself like a pro was Le'Veon Bell, which is a huge surprise.
Yeah,
he was like, "I'm happy to be a Jet" afterwards, and
yeah, that rumor was killing me. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my, come on, guys, please."
The contract's just too big. I don't think anybody wanted him.
So I was glad the Jets actually kind of stayed intact. I mean, there wasn't actually that much real. It was all rumors. I mean, I didn't think there was anybody really moving around. I didn't.
They were saying that Dallas was trying to get Jamal Adams, and I'm glad the Jets kept him because he even though he kind of is a little.
They offered a first rounder and 2 second-round picks was supposedly on the table for him,
and they wanted more than that.
And the Jets wanted more. And listen,
right.
He's a great player.
He's a great player.
And supposedly they didn't shop him around. Teams called them, and he got all bent out of shape about it, which I'll never understand. Like, be a pro. The GM is allowed to shop you, even if he is. Like, be quiet.
It's a business.
Play
I mean,
football.
Exactly. He's got to understand
and
that.
I think he got a little sensitive because there was rumors that he was looking to get home to Dallas, and they kind of called him out for that, and he got a little sensitive about it.
Yeah, well, I think Mike Francesa said, it's got to be coming from Adams' camp, which he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So why even say that, right?
I think he was putting it out there and seeing what would happen, and then when people called him out for it, he got all sensitive. His typical liar behavior. He got all up in arms about everyone calling him out for it. So.
And the NBA got underway, so it's a nice little segue into the football's been so bad. I mean, for the NBA is generally speaking, not my favorite sport to watch, but football in this area is done for. So it's
most intriguing year though. I mean, anyone can really win it. You don't have the huge super team this year. You have a few teams that have good duos and like Westbrook Harden, and you have
there's almost more parity. It's wild to say that, but in the NBA I feel like there's more parity this year than in the NFL.
You could probably make the case for at least 8 to 10 teams that could possibly get to the finals.
It's gonna be a great year. The West is great, so which is good for my bartending. Watching those West Coast games is gonna be great. Yeah, late night is always something to tune into. Watch the Lakers just destroy somebody last night.
It's much more wide open, and as a gambler, that's great because I do think you can make a case for a bunch of teams, and I also think it was always all the West teams, and then maybe Cleveland, but now I think maybe there are 2 or 3 teams in the East, and the fact that the East won the title last year tells you that you have these teams like Milwaukee and Philly and Toronto that could be competitive. So I think you can look at this in a bunch of ways as a gambler and get some value.
For me, anytime that it's up in the air like this, it comes down to team basketball, and that's why I took Denver with my futures. I took them a couple weeks ago at some pretty good numbers, I think plus 2,000.
Whoa.
They're just a good team. Jokic is a good player. They have a really nice balance. They have a good players coming off the bench, and I think any team like that is going to survive in when it's up in the air. And I think you have a couple of teams like that in the East, but I think there's definitely 4 or 5 teams in the West that could make a case for.
For my NBA pick, I wanted to take the Sixers, but I can't be too much of a homer. I took a nice prop bet over Ben Simmons 3-pointers 1.5. I took an over. He's got a couple in him this year. He's got a couple in him.
That's pretty good. He's going to do it. Has it happened yet?
In preseason.
Preseason, it was much rejoicing.
He's saving it. Don't worry. But much like John, I like stability. I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks at a juicy plus 5,500. You have Cuban at the top. He's an alpha. You watch Shark Tank. The guy wants to win at everything, so he's never going to let his team be terrible. You got Dirk exiting, but you got Porzingis and Doncic and what are they, Latvian? The Latvian connection. And they got stability, man. Carlisle's been there 11 years. He's a good coach. They got a good young core. And I think, the West is so stacked with talent, but like the bang for your buck, I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks.
All right. I'm going to take Milwaukee. They're plus 600. So they're a team that they've been slowly getting better and better. They're building around Giannis. Giannis is great. He's a superstar. And I think this year they added some nice pieces. They have some good three-point shooters around him. And, last year they got to the East Finals. They lost to Toronto. And I could see them taking another step forward this year. And I'd like the idea of taking an Eastern team because I feel like, at least in the East, maybe you only have to worry about Philly and maybe Toronto. The West, maybe you can find a better long shot. But I feel like plus 600 coming out of the East, I really could see them getting to the finals. And at plus 600, I like that.
I agree with you there. They were plus 400 towards the end of the season last year. And like you said, there's can only make the case for the 76ers and the Raptors really to get there. I think that's a good bet.
I'm going to go chalk. I mean, somebody has to do it. I'm going to go with the Lakers plus 470. I mean, I feel like LeBron kind of took off last year. Like he was resting up for the season. They didn't play the playoffs. He had all that extra time off, which he never ever has. And they picked up Anthony Davis. And I feel like you're getting plus 470 on LeBron James hedging possibilities when and if they get there. I'm not passing up on this. I'm gonna go LA baby plus 470.
I think you went the wrong LA.
Oh
good
yeah,
luck,
we'll see.
I was waiting. Who was going to say it? Not even the best team in the city. It's an obvious joke.
All right, let's get right into the meat of the show. Some winning picks, I hope. Guys, I feel like we got to turn it around. I'm offering no excuses. Let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna start by taking the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are going into Pittsburgh. They're laying one. I happened to be watching Monday Night Football this week. It ended up being actually a pretty entertaining game. The Steelers were playing the Dolphins, who stink, and the Dolphins gave them a game to start, and I was completely unimpressed with Pittsburgh's quarterback, Mason Rudolph. I feel like he is just lost out there, and Miami gave him a game for half, for the first half. So, and I think Indy is still a contender here, and they're only laying one. I'll gladly take the Colts -1 in this spot.
All right, for my first pick, I'm going to take Jacksonville +2 in the London game. They're playing Houston. So London actually gets kind of a good game for once, where both teams are okay. They're kind of both in contention in the AFC South. And Jacksonville plays one London game a year. And early on, years ago, they were kind of terrible, and there were jokes about why we send in Jacksonville. We want to get fans. But the last 4 years, they've won 3 of the 4 years, won outright as a dog those 3 years. And I feel like they've figured out as a franchise what to do when they go over there, how to prepare. They're playing Houston. They played at Houston early in the year, and they lost by 1 point. They're getting 2. It's on a neutral field. I say take
Watt
Jacksonville
out for the year.
Exactly. And Minshew
is.
is. I feel like he's getting better and better every week. He's a good quarterback. He's really a good young quarterback. So I say take Jacksonville and the 2 points.
Minshew. I see him parading around London like an Austin Powers type.
It's gonna be great. That's going to be
in
awesome. Oh man.
Yeah, they're going to love him over there. I'm sure. I like this pick.
My first pick is going to be the Niners. I know 9.5 is a lot of points, but I don't think the Cardinals have any chance.
Not for the Niners, it isn't.
The Cardinals are like bottom third, I think, in rushing defense, and San Francisco loves to run the ball. If you're looking at fantasy as well and starting one of those running backs, you should be in good shape. I love San Fran, given 9.5.
I do like this pick, and I think Arizona has gotten a few wins against terrible teams, but against good teams, they're not good, and it's such a coaching mismatch.
Yeah, that defensive line is just going to give
the Niners
Kyler Murray
rolling.
Yeah. I think they're the best team in the NFL.
All right, this one kills me, but I'm going to take the Cowboys -7 at the Giants. Listen,
Terrible
I know
pick.
all the arguments. I know Bubba doesn't like
Terrible
it.
pick by a mediocre
Lots
picker.
of points on the road. Divisional rival. Have you guys seen? Has it a
Monday
Danny
night.
Dimes? Has a Danny Dimes moniker? He's loosey-goosey with the ball. He's got a little too much Brett Favre in him. Gunslinger. I can fit the ball in anywhere. You got the Cowboys, though. Losing to the hapless Jets was a big wake-up call for this team. They got their offensive lineman back. Now, that Dak Prescott without Ezekiel running good is nothing. But now they're firing on all cylinders with that line back there. They crushed the Eagles, just absolutely annihilated them. They're coming off a bye. If they can't destroy this hapless Giants team,
7-point home Monday night division.
Go ahead.
Dog.
The fact that you don't like it makes me like it even more. I'm definitely
I think
all
I
in
might throw
on the
some money on
Cowboys.
this,
Yeah, Dallas is going. I can't stand them, but they're going to destroy them.
Well, and we can argue about this one as well, Dodge. I'm going to take the Bears. I don't like Trubisky. I'm taking the Bears. They're going into Philly. They're getting 5. How are the Eagles favored by 5 over anybody at this point?
Our secondary can, cover a bed with a blanket, but the line might get pressure. That's all I can hope for to win the battle of the line.
Bears are coming in angry. They had a questionable end to the game last week. The coach made some really crazy decision, and he defended it. And I think they're kind of pissed. And Philly hasn't beaten. They've won good. They've beaten the Packers. I don't think they've beaten the Bills, the Jets, and the Redskins. It's just like nothing.
They are inconsistent. I hate to say that they're not. I just don't think they're a
3-point spread. I feel like I got to take the Bears with the points here. 5 is a little too much. I feel like
I'm hoping for a triple doink instead of the double doink. Something to give Philly the win. Get that team 2 wins in a row. Would be nice.
They're both desperate, but I'm taking the points here. They're both in the hunt for the wild card.
All right, for my second game, I'm going to college. I'm taking Florida as a home dog. They're playing Georgia. They're getting 6.5 points. Florida is good. They're good. They played LSU at LSU. They were in that game. They were leading that game midway through the third quarter. They were right there against probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. Georgia's been a little shaky. They were good early in the year. They lost outright to South Carolina. They didn't cover against Notre Dame. And this is a big-time rivalry game. And I see Florida at home getting 6.5 points. I think they're going to be in this game. I could say throw some money on the sprinkle some money on the money line because I could see them being in this game and maybe winning outright. Take Florida in 6.5.
Big party game, world's biggest cocktail party. I do like it's a lot of points. I think I love this pick. They get a chance to win outright.
My second pick, I got Green Bay, given 3.5. The Chargers just fired their OC. Phillip Rivers looks like he's half in the grave already. I think this is a no-brainer. Green Bay is playing really, really well right now. Rolling. And running the ball, throwing the ball. They can do it all on offense. Their defense is looking pretty decent this year. So I'm going to take Green Bay. I think that's an easy pick there.
All right, this is going against my best bet of the year, which I told you all under wins with the Browns, but I actually like them going into Denver. Their coach, Richie Kotite, Kitchens is not good at all. All that talent in the world, 3 points. Denver is starting a guy named Brandon Allen who has never taken a professional
snap. Your boy Flacco got a little mouthy last week in the press conference, and then they conveniently came up with an injury
UD players can do no wrong. I'm not going to defend him, though.
Who's their new quarterback, Denver?
Brandon Allen, the great Brandon Allen. If you can't beat Brandon Allen with no Emmanuel Sanders by 3 points, with all the talent you have on both sides of the ball, that's incredibly embarrassing. 2-5 is embarrassing. 2-6 with a loss at Denver. You should win at least by a touchdown.
Great opportunity for Cleveland here to get back on the winning. This is like you get served up on a platter. They have to roll them here.
If they can't beat Denver, the people who bet Cleveland to win the Super Bowl, and there were a lot of those people feel right now, man, I wish I could have backed those bets because that
you actually asked them to send them to you.
I did. I said I would have given them even higher money odds, but I didn't get any takers on that.
Getting high on paper.
I said I'm going to ride the Patriots. If I got to watch them win every week and hear about how great they are and their defense, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I heard a stat this week. If you took away all their offensive touchdowns, I think they'd be 4-2-1 based on defense alone. They're going into Baltimore, and historically, this has been Baltimore the coach. This is a good coaching matchup. This is one coach that can get the team up to against Brady and Belichick, but I just feel like it's another situation. The first time this quarterback's seen the Pats D, and the Patriots are only laying 3. I know Baltimore as a home dog seems a little juicy, but this Pats D is so nasty, and it's basically a rookie quarterback. I know he played half the season last year, but he's never seen the Patriots, and he's never seen anything like this defense before. I'm just gonna keep taking the Patriots until
Yeah, and if they lose, who cares?
Then I can bitch about the Patriots.
Exactly.
It's like a win-win for me.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I got to watch them win every week, I want to get paid. Enough is enough.
Yeah, I mean, I've picked against them a couple times this year and bet against them, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Even when the numbers say or there's some angle, they find a way to win every week and usually find a way to cover. So as much as I don't like rooting for them, I think it's the right side to be on. And basically, they're on the road, but this year it's almost like you're better off being on the road. So I do like this pick. All right. I'm going to pick another college game. I'm going double-barreled in college, and I'm taking another home dog. I'm taking USC. They're getting 4 points against Oregon, and I see this as a situation where USC, they're not in contention for the Pac-12. They've had a couple of losses that, were disappointing games, but I see this as a big game, a big statement game for them, where they're playing a team that Oregon has aspirations to maybe sneak into the playoff, right?
They got jobbed week 1. I mean, it was a bad beat. They should have beat Auburn week. They should be an undefeated team right now. I actually kind of like Oregon here, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, the thing though about Oregon is early in the year they were better, and they've been struggling the last couple of weeks. They really should have lost to Washington 2 weeks ago. And they struggled against Washington State. I know they always struggle against Washington State in the last few years. And last week they could have lost that game too. And I feel like
this is USC's whole. I mean,
historically USC, they're very rarely a dog at home. I think in the last 6 years it's only happened 3 times, and they've covered all 3 of those games. So I like them as a home dog. I see they're going to really get up for that game, and they're kind of playing for the coach too. So I like them as a home dog.
I went homer with my third pick, and
don't do it, John.
I'm doing it because I want them to lose and fire Gase.
Do not don't bring up this game.
Oh man, but the Dolphins are so bad.
They're pitiful.
The Dolphins are pitiful. The Jets are almost as bad. So this is going to be a pillow fight, but I'm going to take the Jets laying the 3.
The Jets are favored in a game. It's a shocking development.
They've been playing bad. They haven't been opportunistic, but they haven't been playing terrible. They've been in most games, and I think Miami is just a terrible
I would say
team.
it's Fitzpatrick looking to take it out on his old team, but since he's been on 8 teams, I guess every game he plays,
there's a number of
storylines
too. You got Gase going against his old team going against Gase. I mean, this is
if he loses, he's getting fired. So it's almost like I'm like baiting them to lose.
They've been accused of tanking Miami all year, and I was watching Monday night. They came out guns ablaze, and then went up 14-0 on Pittsburgh. But then I heard
the owner called down and was like,
"Well, they looked up at the scoreboard and they said, "Wait, we're up by 2 touchdowns. We're not supposed to win. What's going on?"
An investigation-worthy stat here. They have not scored in the third quarter. They've not scored a point in the third quarter. What is this guy saying to them at halftime,
Take
guys?
Yeah, what are you guys doing out there, trying to win?
What the hell's going on out there? Don't do you stick with the game plan here? So, I mean, if the Jets can't beat a team that is supposed to be tanking, then but like you said, though, they should fire Gase. I mean, this is.
I almost am like goading it to happen because I want Gase gone.
Oh, he's terrible.
He is terrible. I mean, just from the press conference alone when he started, those eyes he was giving, I was like, oh, my God.
He had the crazy eyes.
This is going to be a disaster.
Yet another mistake.
He cannot be in New York.
No.
I was almost going to pick this game, but I publicly picked the Jets the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, can I pick them a third one? So I'm kind of glad, John, that you're picking them. I support this pick.
Thank you.
And if he can't win against his old team who is trying to lose, they should fire him.
Exactly.
And as a Jets fan, I will tell you, even though it'd be nice to watch them win, I would not tune into this game. I don't know I'm not sure what the heck's gonna happen here. I don't see a lot of action-packed highlights.
There's a lot more exciting pillow fights you can watch than this one.
But this is where the NFL likes gambling, because if there was no gambling, would anyone watch this game?
Would anyone watch the Steelers Dolphins on Monday?
Right,
No.
exactly.
It's so weird to be in a tight, enclosed space with 3 Jet fans, and all you talk about is the coach. We got to get rid of the coach. It's never player personnel. Hey, we're running back away. We're this away.
It's amazing that we can all
from the top
smile
on down.
every week. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It's
You're
called
so down.
professionalism. If you saw me on Sunday, I was about as angry as the Nationals manager last night when they got hosed.
So
on the
frustrated. And you beat the Cowboys, and then just nothing after that. That was it. That was our one win. What a tease.
Their offensive line is terrible, but Bell. The Dolphins are like, I think, second to last in the league in rushing defense.
They're trying to lose.
If there's any game that you think Bell is going to get over 100 yards and play well, it's going to be this one.
Nice. I hate to agree with Bubba, but that New England defense is unbelievable. That's why I'm taking for my third pick New England, Baltimore under 45.
You're becoming an under guy, Dodgy.
I don't know.
This is like a
well,
whole
I don't
new
watch
thing
these
for
games
you.
because to watch an under game will just make you go absolutely nuts because you're just voting for a boring game. You want that ref to wind his arm any play near the sideline. You just watch it in a different way, and it makes you crazy. But in the 8 weeks, no team has scored over 14 on this defense, and it makes me sick. It's the rich getting richer, this horrible fan base. There's Patriots fans everywhere in this area, and now they're so out of the closet over the last 4 years. They've all been winning. It's like they've taken over the Cowboys is my least favorite.
They're geared up. You see their gear all over every day out on the street there.
And this isn't the old Ravens defense, but Harbaugh's a coach. He's no Freddie Kitchens, and coming off a bye week, it's going to give him time to scheme and see what he sees in that Patriots offense, which they've been getting a lot of points, but like you said, a lot of defensive points, and Tom Brady hasn't been as sharp as he, this might be the perfect spot.
This is actually going to be. This could go way under.
Yeah.
This could be like you look at the they have the alternate lines on DraftKings and the other websites. You can get this could be a very low score.
I'm hoping that, but if I see a turnover inside the 15 or some nonsense, that's how it goes. But I really like this bet, and it's makes me nauseous how strong New England's defense is.
Their defense, to me, is just slightly overrated. I know it sounds like
I'm just
from a Jets
they
fan,
haven't
but
played. They
haven't
haven't played
any quarterback.
They have played some
That is
cream
the thing.
puffs,
Right.
so that's right. But 14 points in the NFL, and no one can score against them.
It's true.
Hope it ends.
Their defensive secondary looks ridiculous.
The defense, I think, has scored as many points as they've given up, which I think has never happened before. Which is crazy.
I don't
When you
even
think
want to
about
talk accolades with the Patriots. It's so annoying, But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
every year
right.
it's in something else. All right, here we go with the moneyline underdog parlay. I'm throwing in Richard's Jacksonville pick in London. I love that play. I'm going to take an angry Bears team to go and beat your Eagles, buddy, in Philly. Sorry.
All right.
And I'm doing this is rare. I'm taking a game. I'm taking a game the opposite of one of our plays this week. So
Shocking. It's mine. The Giants.
It's getting a little complicated here. So we can't hit the 12-teamer and this parlay. I know it's a little, but we'll put both of them in just in case. But I'm going to take the Giants. This is like a classic, like the Giants win for no reason. There'll be no explanation, no reason. Let's put it this way: the Jets beat the Cowboys, so give me the Giants to possibly upset the Dallas on Monday night.
I will say this: I don't mind you going against me if the Giants win outright, Chicago wins outright, as long as the Jacksonville wins. So the parlay comes in. I'll sacrifice a win for the parlay.
I like
that.
I like
for
that.
money.
For 20-1, Dodge will sacrifice a win.
The rent
like
is
this.
due soon, so let's go.
I could see us going into Monday night being 11-0 and having the 2 underdog and basically being, well, as long as Dallas doesn't win by fewer than 7, we're going to win one or the other.
It'll be a
And guess
reverse
what?
middle. Called a reverse
We'll middle ourselves,
where you
right?
lose both. You lose both ways. That would be the classic Monday night. All right. Well, I like this. It's 20-1. We got to hit one to cover the season, so get involved. Here he is, the champion of the show, Clegg's Corner.
He is on fire. He's unstoppable
this year. I don't
killing
know
it. He's
what
killing it.
His new system, I don't know the details of it, but he's saving us every week. He's saving my account from going in the red.
Yeah, it doesn't work for the NFL, though, does it, this system?
Oh, yeah, well, we won't discuss here. You had a little struggle there when it was a tall order last week. I mean, 3 soccer matches and 3 NFL games. So.
Yeah, maybe I flew a little too close to the sun. But the soccer picks, 3-0, worked out great.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Winner. And I was on I didn't mush it. I historically, occasionally I forget to put it in, and that's when they've been coming in, but this week I was on board from the get-go.
You were on board, so you're even carrying Bubba. So what does that tell you about what you're doing?
That's it's a lot of weight on my back. I don't know. So I'm plus 11 units now, which is great if you're picking the game straight up. And the parlays plus 6 units. We've hit 2 of them now, so pretty good.
Keeping us afloat, Clegg. I got a soccer. Who'd have thunk it?
All right, this week got 3 games for you. We're going all English Premier League this week.
Oh, nice. Does that mean they're all on Saturday?
2 of them are on Saturday.
All right.
So we're going to start off real early Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m.
Whoa.
Bournemouth and Man United. I like the draw here at plus 255. Man United still kind of in a slump this year. Bournemouth's been playing a little better. Man United on the road. I think we're going to get like a 1-1, 2-2 draw situation in this game.
Great odds.
Then we're going to go to Saturday at 1:30. This is the feature game on Saturday afternoon here. Chelsea away to Watford. Watford stinks. Chelsea, I don't know if you guys happened to catch this game last weekend. They've got this American kid, Christian Pulisic, and he's like 21 years old, supposedly going to be the savior of American soccer one of these days. And they paid a bunch of money for him and hadn't really been playing him much, and he came out and scored a hat trick for Chelsea last weekend.
Whoa.
And it is what they call a perfect hat trick. One left foot, one right foot, one header.
Wow.
Amazing.
What did they win by?
I think it was 4-0 when I turned it off.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, they just absolutely, routed them. And Watford's another bad team. I feel like Chelsea's going to run away with this one. They're on the road, but they're minus 152 to win.
Oh, that's great. I thought the odds would be worse than that.
The final game I've got for you is Sunday at 11:30. It's another draw.
That's your bread and butter, these draws, buddy. This is
plus 250 for this one.
Nice.
These two teams, Everton and Tottenham, they have decent squads, and they just cannot seem to put a game together. Everton in particular loves to take a lead and then squander it at the last minute. And Tottenham, I don't know what's going on there. The coach apparently has just lost the locker room. They got a bunch of players who want to leave, and even though they were a really good team last year, they're struggling hard this year. So this is another one I see, probably going to be like a 1-1, 2-2 kind of situation. So
these draws keep coming in, Clegg. I feel like should we just blanket the draws every week?
What I've been looking at for the most part, although this Everton Tottenham games doesn't quite fit into this formula, is looking into the lower half of the table and trying to figure out which teams there are going to be playing not to lose. So I wouldn't blanket all the draws, but anytime you find. Well, I guess the Bournemouth Man United doesn't quite line up to that either, even though Man United's pretty low in the table for them. Anytime you can find teams who are in like the bottom quarter, I would say in particular, playing against each other, it's a great spot for a draw.
And the odds are fantastic. I mean,
it's always at least plus 200.
It makes sense. It's like betting a nice dog, and like you said, if the teams are playing conservatively like that, you get a late game where it's a 1-goal difference, and the team behind is trying to score, and the other team's just playing it safe. So it actually sounds like a really good angle, and it's been paying off.
It's working so far, yeah. Now, if you want to parlay these games together, I don't know if I can really highly recommend it because the two draws, but it's 19-1.
19-1.
Oh, you got to throw something. Throw something on that. I think put
a little
like
taste on the
parlay. Don't put the same unit that you put on the individual, but put something, a little taste.
Oh, I say put the same unit on the parlay and then put triple units on the games individually.
Of course you say that.
Clegg, you're on fire here, buddy. I'm not backing down now. I'm gonna ride this thing all the way to the end of the year.
All right. Well, for the record, I'm gonna do 1 unit on each of the games and a half on the parlay. So.
All right, I'll buy you a beer with my quadruple play, Clegg.
Oh, sounds perfect.
Tab's gonna be on me, buddy.
I don't fear anything, anyone, anyone. I'm a freak, so dress like you, act like you want me to. I'm a freak, well that's what I want.
A quick recap so you can jot these winners down. I'm taking Indy -1, Chicago +5, and New England -3. Richard's taking Jacksonville +2, and 2 college games this week, Florida +6.5 and USC +4. Our guest, Jon Cokines, is going with San Fran -9.5, Green Bay -3.5, and JETS, baby. Let's do it.
Jets.
Let's get another win. We can enjoy it. -3 against a team trying to lose. Jim Dodge going with the Cowboys -7, Cleveland -3, and under 45.5 in the Baltimore-New England game. The moneyline underdog parlay, we're taking Jacksonville, Chicago, and the New York Football Giants. Our NBA picks to take home the title this year, Dodge is taking Dallas +5,500. John's got Denver +1,600. I think he got it in at +2,000 though.
Yes,
for
sir.
the
It's gonna keep
tip
going
off.
down.
And Richard's got Milwaukee +600, and I'm going chalk with my man LeBron. Lakers +470. Clegg's corner. the champion of our podcast every week. He's got Bournemouth Man United draw plus 255, Everton Tottenham draw plus 250, and Chelsea to beat Watford minus 152. We plugged all 12 into the parlay, all 12 of our football plays like we do every week, and that pays a nice 2,235 to 1. We'll just keep throwing away money on that every week and hope for the miracle. Anything you guys want to plug this week?
I'd like to plug the Breeders' Cup. It's this weekend. It's a 2-day event, Friday and Saturday, the World Championship of Horse Racing. I know horse racing's had a little bit of a rough year, but they're trying to put some reforms in and trying to make it safer for the animals. And as far as the sporting aspect of it, the gambling aspect, it's a great event. You have horses coming from all over the country, all over the world. I'll try to either on Facebook or Twitter put up a couple of picks later in the week when I get a better look at the fields and who's running. But it's a great event to bet on. If you like horse racing, you get the best horses, the best trainers, the best jockeys all together for championship races both Friday and Saturday.
Those exactas and trifectas pay.
You get big numbers, huge fields, nice prices. So it's a lot of juicy opportunities.
All right, I'm going to plug 2 shows in Hoboken. They're running comedy shows. First one this week, Tuesdays at the Mad Hatter, and Wednesdays at the Green Rock. The Green Rock's been going on for a while, sometimes as little as 4 people, sometimes as high as 30. You never know what you're going to get. But it's good for the comics. You got to flex those 4 people muscles, find out what makes them laugh. And then it's a new show. Like I said, it'd be nice if people came out and supported. I know it's tough during the week. Most of you are 9-to-5ers. I get it. But come on out and laugh a little bit.
It's great. It's funny when like comedy is. People are like,
unfortunately,
I've never had
perfect. You should be sponsoring the show. The year we've been having, I mean,
I've never had to roll in with my 500 comic books and 32 LPs and see what sort of money you could give me for those. It hasn't come to that point yet.
You need more than that.
I'm going to plug tonight's a big night for all the troublemakers out there. I guess it's called Mischief Night, but we refer to it as Cabbage Night.
We grew up calling it Cabbage Night.
Goosey Night, whatever you may call it.
Was it just in your town, Cabbage Night, or is there a Mason-Dixon line of where it becomes
I think it's a
Cabbage Night from Mischief Night?
Two-town, I don't know why it's Cabbage Night, but that's what people think. Halloween gets a lot of attention. I think Cabbage Night should come back. Go out there, and I don't want any safe a little toilet. I mean, nothing. Don't cause any real damage, but try to get in a little trouble out there.
Get some eggs going.
Let's slap on the wrist. The cops come and pick you up. You get grounded. Whoop-de-doo. Go out and have fun, kids. Go get the mean old neighbor. Just give what's coming to him.
I could see this podcast being subpoenaed.
Yes. Any lawsuits directed
exactly. We'll direct to our legal department.
All right, I'd like to thank the guests, my brother, Richard Salvatore.
Thank you. All right, there's only one way to go, up.
Have to go up.
Right.
Jon Cokines returning. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Anytime. Pleasure being back, man. Hopefully.
Caddy season's winding down for us.
Man.
We gotta win some money here.
That's right.
And Jim Dodge.
You can email me your apology when Dallas blows out the Giants.
Buddy, you'll be bartending.
Send me a text. A text is fine. You don't have to say it in person. I know
Monday
you're wrong.
night. So maybe
right.
I'll have to swing by Carpe and we can watch as your pick unravels there. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. We're on Apple, Android, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe at our website, picksfromtheyard.com. Visit the website for all of our archived and bonus episodes and more content. For comments, criticisms, and challenges to Wayne, email us at pftypod@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're at PFTYPod on social media. Remember, gambling on sports is entertainment. Please don't overdo it. If you or someone you know is in over their head, call 800-GAMBLER for help. The Picks from the Yard podcast is produced by Van Voors Films in Hoboken, New Jersey. Our music is Anticipation by the Gefkins. Check them out on Spotify. We'll be back next week. Get involved.